Morning. Kuf Lamed Testament Beis was the Mishnah. Today we're doing Kuf Mem. Just to review, yesterday we were talking about you had Banim and Banos. So when there's enough, the Banos get their Mizonos until they're Bagros, until they become Bogeris, and then the Banim get the rest. If there's not enough, then the Banos get what they need, or as much as we can give them, and then the Banim have to go ahead and they have to be Shoal al Apsachim. Zak the Gemara on the third line. Pshita merubin v'nismatu kvar zachu behen yorshin muatin v'nisrabu mai. So it's pashut that if there's a lot, and then it's mismatu, so that means you give the woman what they need, and then you go ahead and you give the rest to the banim, and then nismatu, and then the mizonos Rashi pshita merubin v'nismatu v'shas mita hayir merubin. So it's pasha that if you give the woman, the banos, what they need, and then the price of food goes up, or the value of the money goes down, then they got what they got, and they can't get anything else. We don't have to give them anything else. But what happens if they have too much now? Like you gave them, and then the price of food went down. So the question is, do they have to give back the extra money? Or do they get to keep the extra money? And besides for now having the price of food, they'll have some extra money for jewelry, etc. B'shus yorshin kaimates, the boys hilkach b'shus yorshin shavuach odilma saluke misalki yorshin meyacha. That means, is it a matter that the price is going down and therefore the men are going to go ahead and get the benefit because the men just need to pay them to make sure that they have enough every single year? But if the value of the money goes up, so if the value of the money goes down, and therefore lamaisa. If the value of the food goes down, so then the men seemingly get to keep the difference. But let's say, Pshita merubin v'nismatu kvar zelcha ben yorshin. If it's merubin and now nismatu, as we just said, if the price of the food goes up, then for sure the women don't get anything else. But if the price of the food goes down, so do we consider them to be the yorshin, and therefore the men get to keep the difference, and now they just have to give the woman the price of the food that it costs now? It used to cost $50,000 a year. Now it's only going to cost $30,000 a year, so the men only have to give them $30,000 a year. Or once we said that they're going to get the food for a year, they get $50,000 per year, which is what the cost of living is at the time that the father passes away. We see that if Yisomim go ahead and they sell b'nechasim muatin, so whatever they sell, they sell. That means even if they sell shalok halacha, so the mice of the sale still go through. As the Rashbam says, they weren't supposed to sell, but they sell. Therefore, you see that it's their stuff. It's not that it's going to the woman, it's going to the banos, and now at the end of the day, whatever happens, the banos get to keep. No, it stays in the boy's possession. And depending on what happens, so the boys just need to support the woman, these girls, for a year. So if the price of food goes down, then the boys are lucky. Then they can only buy $30,000 worth of food. If the price goes up, they don't have to pay more. So it's basically, the guys have, again, the lower hand, as he said in the Mishnah, in certain senses, and the upper hand in certain senses. They have to be shoal al psachim, but at the same token, they need to support the girls for a year. If they go ahead and they say, we're going to give you $50,000 a year, that's what they were omated by, and then Lamaisa, it goes up to $70,000, they still only have to pay $50,000. But if it goes down to $30,000, then they only have to give them $30,000 a year, and they can keep the other $20,000. You ask him the following questions. How do we treat an almana? How do we treat the wife? That means the whole time now we're talking about the daughter and the sons. What about this widow? So the question is, what's the question? We need to give her something, as Rashbam explains. The question is, do we treat her in the beginning, or do we treat her after the beginning? What does that mean in English? That means, do we go ahead and do we give her a piece with the banos? That means we have a certain amount of money. We have $1 million here to simplify it. So the banos need acha yizanu. So they need enough money for the next 10 years until they become bogerises. $50,000 a year. So they need $500,000. Now the wife needs $500,000 as well. So do we say that she's just like the daughters, that she gets the mizonos that she needs, she's going to get until she gets remarried, etc.? So do we say that she gets the mizonos just like the banos, and then whatever's left goes to the sons? Or do we say no? The banos are going to get what they need, but in terms of the almana, we're not going to be nisma'et the pile. What does that mean, nisma'et the pile? It means we said when it's merubin, then the banim are going to be yorshin. So the question really is, the banos get what they get. the boys get what they get, and now between the two of them, they split equally what the almana gets. That's the question. So is the almana getting off the top, which basically is going to be affecting the banim, or do the banim and the banos need to go ahead and equally partake in how much the almana is going to get? And you'll see that if you want to see that, that's in the Rashbam, the long Rashbam on the right. If you skip down like 7 lines on the bottom of the Rashbam, it just says Di'im b'mata habanim yishalu v'halmana tazun, and 3 lines down from there it says Heicha delom b'mata mikru nechasim merubim v'alvapisha titzafka yom alamachim v'nisai rehu k'shmerubim v'nismatu daminan kvar zochim and yorshin v'yazonu shloshtan yachad banim ubanos v'almana kei nira shita zu be'ena. He gave another pshat. That's the pshat that the Rashbam gives. So the Rashbam at the end of the day says that's the question of the Gemara. Do we treat them separately, and therefore the banos get, the men get the rest, and then the two of them take care of the almana together? Or do the banos get, the almana gets, and that's nismata, the pot, and then the banim get whatever's left, and if not, then they have to be shoal al apsachim. Gemara doesn't answer these questions. Mi amrina kevad isla mizoni mimata, she gets mizoni, or dilma kevad ilu mitzvah lesla hashanami lesla. Or do we say, yes, we need to support her now, but since she's soon going to come off the payroll, because at the end of the day, when she gets married, which could be tomorrow, so Lamai says she's going to come off the payroll, so we're going to consider it as if she's not here now in terms of splitting up the stuff, and we're going to say, banos, banim, and then you guys take care of her temporarily. It's an interesting svara, because the banos will also come off the payroll soon if they get married, but the Gemara doesn't entertain that fact. The Gemara says either she's a full-fledged inheritor, and therefore she gets, they get, and then banim get whatever's left, or in Lamaisa, since she might be coming off the payroll very soon, so the banos get, and then the banim get, and then they give her between the two of them. Imtim Salomar Kevan Dilu Mitzvah Lesla. And if you're going to say this second idea that if she's coming off the payroll soon, so we give banos, banim, and then the two of them support her equally. So what do you do by Bas Ishto? Hashanami Lesla, Bas Ishto Mausha Tamai Ben Chasim. Now, let's say you have a different case. You don't have the woman here. Let's say this guy gets married, and the girl is his wife, and this is maybe his first marriage, it doesn't matter, but it's her second marriage, at least. If not more, second marriage. And Lamaisa, she's a little hesitant. He wants to marry her, he found a nice woman, and she says, well, maybe, but you need to support my daughter. She has a daughter from the first marriage. So he says, okay, I'll do it for a year. No, I don't think so. 5 years. Okay, he really likes her for whatever reason, he likes her, and 5 years he agrees to support the daughter. So now he agrees to support her, and then he dies. So now how do we treat this daughter? So first of all, whatever we treat the almana with, we treat the almana with. But now we got his banos are getting their food. Now the question is, do the banim get the rest, and then the two of them together have to support this daughter for 5 years? Or, whatever amount is left on the term, or do we treat her the same way that we had a tzad to treat the almana and the banos? It means we would give the banos, we give the almana, we'll give the bas, and then at the end of the day, we'll give the banim whatever's left. Again, we're not dealing with the almana in this case. I'm just to make it equal to give the example. So which one is it? Says the Gemara, do we say that even if she gets married, she's still going to get the money because he promised her for 5 years, regardless of whether she gets married or not, and therefore we'll treat her just like we would treat the banos. Therefore, it's banos and this bas ishto, and then the banim get whatever's left. Or since she can die at any point, lamaisa, what do you do? Since she can pass away at any point, you're going to treat her not like she's here, and therefore at the end of the day, the Gemara doesn't know. Maybe you'll treat her so there's tut stadim over here. Tut stadim. Says the Gemara, v'imtim salomar kevan deilu mesala lesla velomimata balchov masha yimad bin achasim. Now, what do we say about a balchov? What do you mean? What do we say about a chov? So we have the same question by a balchov. If you have banos here and you have banim here, and you have the balchov, so what happens over here? Well, how do you treat the balchov? This was interesting because I always thought that when a balchov comes, he can collect from whatever he wants. The Gemara seems to be saying no. The Gemara seems to be saying that if you have enough money for the banos to be azunu, and now you have money for the sons. It sounds like the balchov comes later after they split everything up. First we got to do all the splitting up, and then the balchov comes. So the question is, now that the balchov is coming, so how do we treat him? It sounds like the Gemara is saying. The Gemara is saying we give the banos their portion. Now the question is, do we give the balchov his portion, and then the men get the rest? Or do we split everything up, and then the banos and the banim have to equally go ahead and pay with the balchov? That's the Gemara's question. It means, do we pay the balchov off the top, and now the banim need to go ahead and they have to be asking al apsachim, mishal apsachim? Or do we go ahead and give the women their stuff that they need to be nizones, thank you, and then the men get yishalu al apsachim, and then the men get their stuff, and then between the two of them, they equally have to give proportionally to the balchov? That's the Gemara's question. Do we say that since he's around, he's not going anywhere, because even if this Baal Chov dies, what happens? His kids can go ahead and can collect. Mimait, or Dinam Lakem, and the Mechus, or Gavain, lo Mimait. The Gemara doesn't answer any of these questions. So we don't know exactly how to treat the Almana, we don't know how to treat the Baal Chov, and we don't know how to treat the Bas Ishto. Again, the answer, in terms of they're going to get something, the question is, who are they getting from? Are they getting that the Bas gets her Nizonis? Again, just as an example, if the Bas is getting $50,000 a year and she needs 10 more years till she's Begaris, are we giving her the $500,000 and then giving the Almana her $500,000 and then giving the sons the rest? Are we giving them the $500,000 and then giving the Baal Chov its $500,000 and then giving the son the rest? Are we giving the Bas Ishto, are we giving the stepdaughter $500,000 with the daughter and then giving the sons the rest? Or are we giving the daughters their $500,000, giving the sons the rest, and then between the two of them, they need to go ahead and pay off the Almana, the Baal Chov, and the Bas Ishto? That's the Gemara's question. The Gemara asks it another way now. V'ika debayla l'idachisa, Baal Chov ma'u she'yimai b'nechasim, Bas Ishto ma'u she'tamai b'nechasim, Amanasa ma'u she'tamai b'nechasim. The Gemara does not answer the question. Zak the Gemara. Almanasa ubas ezaman kodemes. Now the Gemara is an interesting question. Now the Gemara says, let's back up a second. You were asking, assuming that there was a case where there was enough for the Bas and the Almana, there was enough for everybody. The question is, who pays the Almana? Does it come from the Bas's portion also, or does it just come from the Ben's portion? Let's say now you just have $500,000 left. And that's going to be enough either to cover the Almana until she, quote unquote, can get remarried. Obviously, if she gets remarried earlier, then it would stop. But from our way, let's say you have $50,000. It's going to cover the Almana now for the short term, or it's going to cover the Banos for the short term. For sure, the men are going to have to go ahead, and the Banim are going to have to go Yishalu al Apsachim. But what about if you have now enough for either the Banos or for the Almana? Who gets first? Who do you guys think? That's what you would have thought. Good, thank you. That's not what the Gemara says. Amar Lei, that's what I would have thought too. There's a 50-50 chance. What? I know, but I wouldn't have asked the question, so it's really like a 60-40 chance. So, Zag the Gemara, Zila inna v'tala machar. So he said, go ahead and come back tomorrow. I don't know the answer. Kiyasa, so he came back tomorrow. Amar Lei, Pashut mias chada, de Amar Rabbi Abba, Amar Rabbi Asi, Asu almana eitzel habas, kibas eitzel ha'achim min nechasim muatin. We make the almana like the bas eitzel the achim. What are the bas eitzel muachin? The bas eitzel achim muatin when there's not enough. Well, who gets? The bas gets, and the men got to go knock. Ma bas eitzel achim abas nizonis v'achim nishal al psachim. Af almana eitzel abas almana nizonis v'abas tishal al psachim. If it comes to the point where it's boys versus girls, boys are going knocking. If it's girls versus almana, almana gets her money, and the girls are going knocking. Zak the Gemara, Admon Omer b'shvil shani zachar hifsadati. My kamar, what's he saying? Amar by hachi kamar. B'shvil shani zachar v'roy ani lasok b'torah hifsadati. Since I'm a boy and I'm roy to be mizazik in Torah, I'm going to lose. That doesn't make sense. Amar le Rava. Elameatek man dematzik b'torah hu diyaris elo asik b'torah lo yaris. You're making it sound like you're getting the raw end of the deal because since you're osek b'torah, you really should be inheriting, but you're not because they're making you knock on the doors. But that makes it sound like somebody who's not Osek B'Torah is not even Roy of inheriting. That's not true. Even if you're not Osek B'Torah, you're still Roy of inheriting. Elamarav, what does it mean that he has to knock on the doors? Hachi kamar. B'shvil shani zachar v'roy ni lirash b'nechasim berubin ifsadati b'nechasim muatin. Just because I'm going to get a lot, when there's a lot of money there, what happens? So they get their little bit that they need, and I get the rest as a ben. So you're going to punish me and say, therefore, when there's a little bit, so now she's going to get what she needs, and I'm going to have to go knocking on the psachim. He's understanding, or his argument, is that it seems like the Gemara is punishing, or the Mishnah is punishing a boy, because there's a potential where the boy can inherit millions of dollars, because the woman's never going to inherit millions of dollars. She's at the most going to get what she needs. So she's guaranteed to get what she needs. But the man, in the case where there's a lot of money, he's going to inherit millions of dollars. So therefore, he says, I should be punished. Since because there's potential for me to inherit millions of dollars, in the case where there aren't millions of dollars, you're going to punish me and say that she should get, and I should have to go shoal al psachim, she should get half of it, and I should get half of it. And the Gemara seems to like that, or the Mishnah seems to like that svara, because the Mishnah ends by seemingly saying that the boys will also get part. Now again, if it comes to it where there's not enough for anybody, then obviously they'll have to be shoal al psachim. Zak the Mishnah, to make things a little bit more complicated. Hiniach banim ubanos v'tumtum. Never know. Today it's more halacha l'maisa than ever before. Different types of tumtums. But hiniach banim ubanos v'tumtum. There are men, there are women, and then there are we don't knows. Or again, the times of the Mishnah was we don't know. We're not sure if they're a boy or a girl. Nowadays, people make themselves boys, make themselves girls. We don't know either. But again, that would be the halacha l'maisa equivalent maybe of a tumtum. But Zak the Gemara bizmancha nechasim merubin has charim dochin osoetel nekevos. Poor tumtum. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just born. Or sorry, it, as the Gemara seems to imply, We're not sure if it's a he or a she. So what happens over here? So now there's a lot of money. So now this guy's clearly saying, yo, I'm a boy. The girls go get their little thing, and I'm one of the boys, and I'm going to get to split all the money that's left for the Yerusha, the millions of dollars. So what happens? Zacharim dochana soetz on the cave. So Zacharim can say, no, boy, you're a girl. And as the Rashbam says, worse than that, when he gets to one of the girls so that he wants to get at least a little bit of money until he becomes a Bogeres, the Nechasim, the girls can push him off and say, no, you're a boy, which makes sense. What is it really in essence? Tamotzi mechaber ala varaya. I don't think the Rashbam says this, but he can't prove anything. He can't prove to the boy that he deserves to inherit with the boys, and he can't prove to the girls that he inherits deserves to the girls. So again, the poor tumtum is left all by himself. Nechasim muatin, if there's not enough, hanekevas dochas also eitz zacharim. Now when there's nechasim muatim, who's getting? Only the girls are getting. So he comes and says, I'm here for my yearly amount for mizonos, etc. They say, sorry, I don't know what they're going to call him. Sorry, man, but lamaisa, we can't go ahead and we can't go ahead and get you. We can't give you anything because you can't prove that you deserve to get within the kevos. Ha'omer. Now we're getting really intense. Ha'omer im telet ishti zachar yitol mana. If my wife has a zachar, then he gets a mana. Yolda zachar yitol mana. So if she has a boy, the boy gets the mana. That's what he's saying. Nekeva masayim. If she has a girl, then I want to give masayim, seemingly to help her with the support a little bit. Yolda nekeva no tell us masayim. If he says, im zachar mana im nekeva masayim, if it's a boy, I'll give him mana. If it's a girl, I'll give masayim. V'yolda zachar, as the Rashbam says, u nekeva, even though tomorrow's daf will be and nekeva, twins. But the Rashbam says it's not twins here. And then you have a boy or a girl. Well, it depends. Zachar no mana, nekeva no tell us matayim. Fine. Yolda tumtum. If he says if I have a boy, he gets 100. If I have a girl, she gets 200. And he has a tumtum, eino notel, he gets nothing. Because at the end of the day, he's not a boy and he's not a girl. Im amar kol ma shetelet ishti yito. Whoever, whatever my wife has, will get the money. Harei yito. Then he gets because he's still whatever. He's a whatever. He's not a boy or a girl, but he's a whatever. The guy just said whatever. If he doesn't get the totally or under the deal. If he's the only child, then yoresh sakol. It's not that he doesn't get to inherit. Just that when there are other banim or other banos, he can't inherit. But lemaisa, he will get what? No, this is a regular guy who's just having a child. He's having his first child, and he says, "If my daughter," he's trying. He's making it tonight. He's asking to make it tonight. If the baby is born and it's a girl, then I'm giving her a masayim. He can give her whatever he wants. No, there's nothing to do with Yerusha. It's just that he's saying to Hashem that if I have a boy, I'm going to give him $100. If I have a girl, I'm going to give him $200. Reminds me when I had Esther. My first daughter. So my grandfather's a Holocaust survivor, and for Holocaust survivors in general, they wanted to always carry on the family name. They knew that, but okay. So you want to carry. So I remember she was born on two of my three kids were born on Motzei Shabbos or on Shabbos. I always like getting in a car. So Lamais, at the end of the day, the Esther's actually. We have one extra minute. Esther's actually interesting because my wife went into labor in the morning, and of course you call the doctor. Oh, she's not ready. Call her back in the afternoon. Okay, send her to the hospital now. Of course, I look at my watch. It's like 2 minutes to Mincha, and we live right next door to the shul. So you have like 300 men coming to shul, and I'm like waving to them, getting in my car, and going to the hospital. Fine. At the end of the day, she's born. So I call my grandfather Motzei Shabbos or Sunday morning. I don't remember. And I'm all excited. It's my first kid, and I'm like, oh, Mazel Tov. He's like, what? Yeah, a girl. He's like, oh, okay. Hopefully next time it'll be a boy. I'm like, thanks, Grandpa, for ruining the party. But again, okay, Baruch Hashem, he met Yosef as well. But again, he just like for him, it was like carrying on the name from after the Shoah. So he would have given 200 for a boy and 100 for a girl, but whatever. Okay. He thought ahead. He bought my son, he passed away when he was like 3 years old. He bought my son a pair of tefillin for his bar mitzvah, so not the actual tefillin, the money for the tefillin. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Now that everybody in the world knows everything about me on the tape. Zog the Gemara. Dochin oso v'shakil kebas. In the first case, so it says that Bisman she'nechasim mirubin, so the Zecharim can push him off and the girls can push him off. There's a lot of money now. So the boys can say, go take as a bas, and the bas can say, go take as a boy, and they push him back and forth, poor tumtum, and he doesn't get anything. Hakatani seifa, but it says in the seifa, yolda tumtum eino notel, that he doesn't get to be notel. Now the Gemara is assuming at this point that when it says, Bisman she'nechasim mirubin has Zecharim dochen oso eitzel nekevos, the way the Gemara is assuming at this point is actually that the Zecharim can push him off, but the nekevos cannot push him off. The Zecharim can push him off and say, go take as one of the girls, and the girls have to give him, because again, it's not really affecting them. They're still going to get what they're getting. Who's it affecting? It's affecting the boys. Because again, there was a lot of money. The girls are getting kidei and zones, whatever they need for food. Now the question is, do the boys get the extra $1 million, or do they need to shell out another $50,000 for the tumtum? So it sounds like from the ratio, the way the Gemara is understanding is that they got to shell out another 50 grand for the tumtum. But it says in the Sefer, Yalda tumtum eino notel, that if there's a tumtum, he doesn't get anything, because we treat him like an it, like not a boy and not a girl. Amar Abaye, dochin oso ve'enlo. When it says in the first part of the Mishnah, he understands the way I explained it. Hazacharim dochin oso eitzel nekevos. And then the unwritten rule is that the nekevos are dochin oso eitzel the zachar, and therefore he ends up with nothing. And that goes perfect with the Sefer, which says that Yolda Tumtum Eino Notel. That's Abaye. For Rav Amar Dochin Oso V'Yeshlo. No, we are Dochin Oso, but Yeshlo he still gets to collect as a bas. Very nice. What's the problem? The Sefer says he doesn't collect anything. V'Sefer Asan Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. And the Sefer has a different opinion. The Sefer is the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. The Tanya Yolda Tumtum V'Adruganus. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Omer Ein Kedusha Chalalean. There's no Kedusha. There's no Kedusha. I'm sorry. He's not a boy and he's not a girl. So it comes out again. According to Abaye, it's lav dafka. Men can push him to the girls can push him to the boys. He gets nothing, and that goes perfectly with the Sefer, which says he gets nothing. According to Rava, dochin also means you push him, the boys can push him to the girls, but the girls have no reason to push him away, because at the end of the day, again, it's a case where it's merubin, so they don't push him away, and he gets to collect as one of the girls. What does it mean in the Sefer? He doesn't collect anything ever. That's according to Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. So, the Gemara Meis, where you have a problem, because you have another brayso that says Tumtum yoresh kiben v'nizon kibas. That's a question on Abaye. Abaye just says he gets nothing ever. The it gets nothing ever. But you see over here, he's yoresh kiben and he's nizon kibas. Says the Gemara, Bishlam ala Rava yoresh kiben b'nechasim muatim. That could be according to Rava, who says what? That when there's a lot of money, he gets like one of the bosses, because the men can push him to the boss and the boss can't push him away. So yoresh kiben b'nechasim muatim means what? He's yoresh kiben when there's not a lot of money, which is what? He gets how much? Nothing. Because the ben don't get anything by nechasim muatin. So we could treat him like a ben all we want, because he's not going to get anything. He's going to have to go knock on doors. V'nizon kibas b'nechasim merubin. But we treat him like a bas by nechasim merubin, and he gets a piece of the bas. That's Rava. That's exactly what Rava holds. El Abaye my nizon kibas. According to Abaye, I understand yoresh kiben b'nechasim muatin, which means he's not going to get anything. But by nechasim merubin, when it says nizon kibas, if that's nechasim merubin, what did Abaye say? Abaye said he doesn't get anything by nechasim merubin either. Ulitamecha, the Gemara says, but according to Rava, you also have a problem, because Rava, my yoresh kiben. Before I explain the beginning, what does it say? Tumtum yoresh kiben. What do you mean yoresh kiben? He never gets to be yoresh kiben. Ella, how did you understand it? How did Rabbi Spitz read it? Roy lirash ve'enlo. Really, theoretically, he's roy lirash. Quote unquote, we could say, okay, we'll treat you like a ben. Yeah, easy for us to say, because the ben's not getting anything there. Hachanami roy lazon ve'enlo. So too, we could treat him like a girl, but he's not going to end up getting anything. So it ends up coming out that at the end of the day, Abaye says, Dochin oso ve'enlo, he never gets anything. And therefore, tumtum yoresh kiben v'nizon kibas basically means, yeah, go ahead, try to be yoresh kiben and try to be nizon kibas. You can try, but you're not going to be able to. Because when you go to be yoresh kiben, there's not going to be anything there, because we're dealing with a case of merubin. And when you try to be yoresh kibas, the woman can push you off. Comes along Rav and says, no, crazy, buy nothing. Then, of course, you could treat him like a ben. Yoresh kiben, he gets nothing. But we need to take it literally, nizon kibas, in a case where there's a lot of money. So then at the end of the day, the boys can push him off and say, you're not a boy, so you don't get a part of the rest. But the girls can't push him off because, again, seemingly there's nothing for them to lose at the end of the day. They're going to get their $50,000. And then this tumtum, according to Abaye, according to Rava, this tumtum, when there's $1 million left for the boys, so they'll each get their $50,000. The tumtum will get her $50,000 as well, considering her as a her here, and the boys will end up getting the rest of the pile.